Hey there, you mean DC fans, and welcome. If you are new, I am Mantis, and today we are getting back into my Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 5. Let's go. Previously on Absolute Martian Manhunter. Using a massive heat wave across the city as a distraction, the White Martian used hers, we're not really sure, their minions to destroy the electrical infrastructure and plunge the city into darkness. Starting off in this issue, we will start to find everyone has a dark side. We can see one baker or a cook crushing up bottles with a rolling pin, another with a mask and gloves staring at John's favorite treat, Chocos. Chocos? I want to say it's Chocos because they're probably got chocolate in it. So we'll say Chocos. And finally, a wannabe greaser is wearing like a greaser jacket with says clown on the back of it, threatening a dog.
Where's the dog?
Seems in the dark there are some people up to no good. Jonn arrives on the scene of said murdered dog as the owner is there as well, grieving hysterical. She is, remembering all the good times and loving relationships that they had had. And you can see that as represented in the shadows on the ground, casting for as Jonn stands there smoking his cigarette. As mentioned before, the attack on the city's power stations left it in cosmic darkness. Feeling weeks have seemed to pass, the Martian hints that this is not ordinary darkness. It's very old darkness that will spread.
Darkness, everybody! Everyone! Darkness is spreading!
I think it's probably indicating here that the darkness is contributing to the crime, affecting people, and otherwise bad things that will soon come to pass. Driving through the streets, though, Jonn notices that crime, we were talking about previously, people scared in their houses, two-person teams of teen looters, breaking into appliance stores. And he says that the shadows are influencing uh, these people to commit crimes. One concerning thing, though, is the darkness has also seemed to have diminished, his powers, or the Martian's powers, essentially. The Martian vision, somewhat, a little bit, as the Martian isn't able to fully see using his powers. In the previous issues, he's been able to detect stuff across the city, read people's minds, that sort of thing, for a while. And now with this darkness, that seems to be suppressed. Continuing to see these teens destroy their old lives and belongings, praising their new loot in the shadows as gods, until they get bored and then they do it all over again. I thought this was an interesting comparison to like materialism. I kind of took this, we see this today sometimes, like with like iPhones or cars, or name the thing you have. People covet these things. They want them. They want the newest one. They get it, and then they get bored, and then they move on to the next new thing. And that's kind of what's going on here. Jonn also mentions that people are worshiping the light as well, but he doesn't quite know why. Bridget, still refusing to see Jonn after she kicked him out, isn't really scared of the dark. Sitting holding their son and also a shotgun, clearly she isn't scared of the dark. But Jonn isn't so sure she shouldn't be. Even though he knows that she can take care of herself, surrounded by fireflies, he sends the Martian to check on her while he waits by the car so not to be seen by her. Next, we see that cook from before grinding up the glass bottles, clearly being influenced by the shadows, or her shadow. It's got kind of white eyes. Um, they put the grinded glass, puts that grinded glass on the food, packages it up, and is going to serve it to the late night diners. Jonn, catching a whiff of this glass in the food, or the situation, I guess you could call it, as he walks by, rushes in and yells, "Stop! Don't take a single bite." He's telling everyone, put down their food and nobody gets hurt. It's funny the way they phrase that. The cook takes off out the back door into the alley as Jonn and the Martian give chase. Next, John's walking through the park. He's trying to find more trouble, but only to find happy kids surrounded by those same fireflies when Jonn was near Bridget. I think this seemingly indicates that the presence of good and love are these fireflies in the dark. The kids are even there playing with their shadows. I wonder if those shadows, though, are kind of just an extension of people, which can be influenced or possessed, because we've seen them do bad things, cause people to do bad things, but here they seemingly are fine. Their kids are playing with. Passing the discount store next, Pacheco's. John notices Tyler trying to put a pack of Chacos in Bridget's basket. We've all been in the situation, sneaking the candy in the basket when mom's not looking. Of course, Bridget catches him and denies his sweet tooth craving. But we also see that same person from earlier with the gas mask and gloves injecting poison into some Chacos. As that same guy passes John outside the convenience store, he's carrying a case of them. And again, John gets a whiff of what he had done to them and does not look too pleased. John chases after the poison Choco guy, getting into a fight with him. They each take a swing at each other, but John seemingly comes out on top on that. While that's happening, you can also see that the Martian is tussling with his shadow of that guy, portrayed on the side of the wall of a building from a car that's parked there. However, in his getaway, the guy dropped some of those tainted chacos, and Tyler seemed to have picked it up. Another case of murder slash self deletion. John arrives too late on the scene, and he wasn't able to save the family from their father, who seemingly had a pistol and offed everyone, including himself. And just as he's conversing with the Martian, John's turns, saying, "Man, they got here fast," and notices an ambulance just like full speed heading right for him. He's unable to get out of the way. It creaches and crashes right into him, knocking him out. If only he had his full Martian powers, he might have been able to save that family and himself. While unconscious, the Martian is just kind of chilling in this black void, which I assume he's there because John's knocked out. However, I guess maybe John's having a dream as well. He's only thinking of getting back to his family, partially regaining consciousness for a second. He repeats that, I have to get back to my family, as two guys are getting out of the ambulance, saying, "Well, we'll get you back and we'll fix you right up." Next, we see the Martian still in the void, indicating the White Martian has trapped everyone in that darkness that everything's in. And that darkness is cosmic darkness that had only existed before creation. So it's some sort of pre-creation darkness power thing. Also, that dog killer is back, and he's standing outside the front door of a house carrying the knife that he, murked that dog with. Then the two bad drivers start discussing amputating John as he's kind of knocked out still from the crash. The Martian is trying to search out now what the darkness wants, what it is, trying to find the center of it, possibly some weakness or revelation. John is still kind of woozy from the crash, the ambulance hitting him. He's asking one of the guys if he's a doctor, and they reply, "The hell, how the hell should I know?" They seem not even to know who they are themselves at this point. We get to find out what house that dog killer is at, and unfortunately, it's John and Bridget's, as Bridget hears the killer's knock on the door. Back at the crash scene, John is in real trouble as the two would-be paramedics are completely insane, coming at him with some battery-powered cutting device, but saying, who we are in the dark when nobody is watching is who we really are. The next page, we kind of get to see who's at the center of possibly this creation in the darkness. And unfortunately, it's Darkseid. We'll have to find out next issue what becomes of John. Will he be cut into several pieces and sold on the black market? And will Bridget and Tyler survive their looming confrontation with the clown jacket wearing killer? Next on Absolute Martian Manhunter. Well, guys, thanks for tuning into the video. Let us know down in the comments if you like this issue. I thought it was okay. The ending was kind of weird there. You see, Darkseid at the center of creation. Little weird there, but as we found out in the Justice League Unlimited, bigger baddies are joining the fray, even in the Absolute universe. So, again, thanks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good fun stuff down below. And again, check out the rest of our Absolute series. We're doing all of the Absolute comic runs, releasing those as soon as we can. along with our Justice League Unlimited. And Cal is also doing some Mr. Terrific stuff as well. So don't forget to check all that stuff out. And until next time, later.